Hey everyone, are you thinking about selling your home for the holidays? Stay tuned for reasons why you should definitely list. Welcome to The Real Tea, my weekly segment where I spill the tea on all things real estate. And today I'm here with Michael Stevens, one of the owners of Coldwell Banker EvenBay Real Estate. Hi Michael, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Hi Abby, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
No, definitely. And I think that this is a really important topic that we're talking about, especially since, the weather's changing and traditionally we see the real estate market start to slow down. And we're going to talk about how that might not be the case. So.
Sure.
And as everyone knows, before I go ahead and get into the show, I want to give a huge shout out to Ellie Platt at Platt Insurance for sponsoring The Real Tea. As all of you guys know, for all of your insurance needs, whether it be personal, commercial, life, or financial, Ellie Platt has you covered. So thank you so much, Ellie.
Cool.
Yep. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on a small icebreaker question. Is that okay?
Oh, okay. We'll wait until we hear the question.
Okay. So for you personally selling, what's your favorite season to sell in and why?
Wow. Boy, I've really tried to keep my finger on that pulse for 25 years that I've been doing this. And I really find there's so many challenges in the spring and into the summer months and vacation. I really always have told a lot of our agents that I love, coming out of the third quarter and into the fourth quarter. I really do. If you look at it statistically, the sales are great, and a lot of production, and people are coming off the winter, the summer months, and the activities, and they're faced with maybe a slower market in front of them. So that middle of August, all the way to that about past Thanksgiving into the holidays, great markets. That's really my favorite, and I see some of the highest production.
Definitely. And I think even to think that, fall's coming around the corner and the weather starts to change. And I really think that I think it just looks prettier over the curb appeal of a lot of homes, and it's,
right.
Transitioning into the holiday season. So it's
my favorite time of the season too, is that late summer, early fall. It's a nice time in general. And the spring can be a little bit funny because I think there's more tire kicking in the spring. Mm-hmm. And you might be working really hard as an agent, but not as productive, in a strange way, because people are testing the market compared to that time frame we just talked about. It's more productive, I find.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I can really see your viewpoint on that. And I don't know if our audience remembers, but a little while back, you guys had a transition from EvenBay Real Estate to Coldwell Banker. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit also to remind everyone before we begin and start talking about our topic that we're going to be discussing.
Well, we're not newer to the industry, Janice and I, and Forrest. And 25 and 30 years, and it might be a new name, came into the industry with EvenBay, but we're not new to the market, obviously, locally owned and operated. And over, our startup over the last 4 years, strategically, we're planning for that final piece of the puzzle. Yes. And that was Coldwell Banker. And we landed it, and we couldn't be more excited to just kind of take what we've built over the last 4 years and just take it to the new level, and a new service of real estate for the Mahoning Valley and surrounding counties. Coldwell Banker is just absolutely incredible. And talked about a couple franchise. It was the perfect fit. It's the one that we wanted to land with the most, and we did it. So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you again. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to definitely get into high gear and discuss what everyone's been waiting for.
Okay.
What are some reasons as to why you should sell your home in the winter months compared to the summer months?
Wow. Where do I start? Because, you think it's a tricky question, but I don't think it's really that varies from year to year.
Yes.
And let's face it, if we're talking about 2020, you can throw it all out the window because of
right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And typically a lot of people in the past, maybe slower years, the market slows down, and you don't want to put your house on that time of the year. Even in the past, I would always, one thing I would reference is it may be slower. It may be a lot of things. And this is prior to dealing with what we're dealing with currently in the market, but there's still buyers out there. There may be less activity, but I would simply tell a seller, it only takes one buyer for your house. And what if that one buyer is still looking at that time frame? So if that one buyer is out there and your house is the perfect house for that buyer, and he happens to be working on looking for a home during that time frame, then guess what? It's the right time to be on the market, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now we complicate that with Corona. We complicate that with the current market. And right now, I've thought a lot about this. And right now, we're dealing with a lack of inventory.
Yes.
A lack of inventory that has been so severe. We still have buyers that have been looking for homes all summer and unsuccessfully, found their right home. So there's a lot of buyers out there that are still waiting on inventory to come on the market, still waiting on that house that they could react on. So with that said, I still think there's going to be a lot of buyers going into the winter months, going into the holiday months. And let's face it, a lot of people are putting different priority on holidays, not, as many parties, as many functions, which could have a very good effect on people's mindset on still concentrating on home searches.
Yes. Yep.
But if that home comes on, those buyers have been waiting for months and they are still out there. They are still looking. So throw it all out the window. It's still a great time to put your home on the market. Yes. So as far as, market driven, that's my position on that. Now you throw the corona, the whole virus and the pandemic thing into it. You want me to share my thoughts on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the big difference is, at the beginning of the year, just to landscape the entire 2020, real estate industry, we were off to a record start in January and February, and then boom, middle of March came, and the virus, the pandemic, and at that time, boom, we did not know what was going to happen. The market fell out. It came to a screeching halt. For a good 45 days there, and we all see how it responded, and we've still on a record year, pretty much taking 2 months out of the picture. Yeah. But I think the big difference now, as far as how the pandemic's going to affect us, is at that time we were dealing with so much unknown. I mean, we were in a shutdown. Nobody was doing anything. We didn't know, what we were dealing with. And there was no showings. It was really did just stop. Compared to now, it's so many months later, we know a little bit more or a lot more about, wearing masks, washing our hands, social distancing. So I think it's going to affect, if we still have some more spikes going into the winter months, I think people are still going to find a way to function, in the real estate, market and still buy and sell based on what we know now and the social distancing and the CDC guidelines, which all of us are following in the real estate industry. We're wearing masks and we're doing everything that we could do to protect our clients. So I think it's a little bit different than what we experienced earlier this year. I mean,
and even with everyone has their own digital footprint now, and the technology that we have nowadays, I definitely have been seeing a lot of different agents utilizing that, like virtual showings, where you don't really necessarily need to be in the home, but you can get it done, and half the country is working remote now, so.
Yeah, and when we're not remote and we have to go out in the field, we can do it safely, responsibly, and respect each other's well-being. So.
Yeah. So, your advice is to definitely, put your home on the market, regardless of what season that we're in. Do you have any tips for people that are putting their homes on the market? Obviously, everyone's starting to decorate for Christmas, and, maybe, with the weather changing, it's going to be snowing a lot. What are some tips that you can give the sellers, as in maybe decorating or maybe not decorating as much as they normally do?
Well, that's a tricky. You try to do it in a tasteful way. They always talk about staging and too much. Sometimes can be over the top and take away from your home. But who doesn't like Christmas decorations and a Christmas tree? And this time of the year it gets darker earlier, so that's a real challenge.
Yeah. I was
So,
actually going to bring that up too.
yep. Oh, there you go. It gets darker earlier. So, obviously, in the inclement weather and sidewalks and cleaning, but outside lighting, I'm big on lighting. I love lighting, whether it's outside the house or inside a house. So you could really do some nice things. What you don't want is, when it gets dark at 5 o'clock and somebody's rushing from the office to go see a house and they're seeing it in the dark, is walk into a home that's pitch dark.
Yeah.
Stage with lighting, that could go a long way in this time of the year. So
yeah, definitely. I feel more so the curb appeal matters more, just because and even if it snows a lot and with the weather and everything, you might miss the big picture when you pull up if it's covered in snow. But if you have some lighting and maybe some tasteful decorations like a Christmas wreath up, it's warm and inviting for you.
Yeah, that front porch on those the lanterns on the side of the garage, any landscapes. We forget. The landscape lights and the timers are set for 9 o'clock. Well, make sure they're set for 5 o'clock. So the landscape is all lit up and everything. So that's some of the things that I think are, really, really nice features anyhow, because I love lighting, and I think it goes a long way this time of the year.
Yeah, definitely. So would you recommend having sellers have some pictures in their back pocket of the house, what it looks like in the spring and summer months as well?
Yeah, pictures is a funny thing right now with me. That's great. We get that all the time, where they give us the pictures of the swimming pool that now does not quite look like it did in August or July. So those are nice pictures to add to your listings, and the flower beds and the landscaping and the green yards. And a lot of people have that in their libraries. So pull those out, give them to us so we can use them. I like natural photos, real photos. Photos is kind of a topic of discussion with me. You have a lot of these enhanced photos. They don't reflect what it really looks like. And people show up and it's, wait, this isn't the picture I saw. And you don't want to set people up for disappointment. So I'm a true believer in just good, high quality enhanced photos. I'm sorry, natural photos.
Natural photos.
Yeah.
And then obviously, if you want to pop in the oven some chocolate chip or Christmas cookies, that obviously helps when you're showing the house. And shoveling, obviously making sure that the walkways are set.
And if I'm showing the house, cookie chocolate chip with no nuts, because I have a tree allergy, so nut allergy. So please.
All right, we'll make sure to write that down. And then on the flip side, though, if you are buying, what is your advice? Is your advice different from what we've been seeing in the summer? For the people that are buying, what are some tips for them going into the winter months?
Hang in there. Get with that real estate agent that just keeps searching. There's a lot of things that, if you're working with a good buying agent that can even do some farming or some letters to, specific neighborhoods that you want to be in, or a condo market that you want to be in, and get an agent that's going to go out there and maybe find that listing, because it's only going to be even more challenging to find that listing, because the lack of inventory is the biggest challenge. Don't give up. Get that pre-qualification, have everything that you can have in place to be able to act quickly on a house.
Yeah.
All your financing, whether you're renting or whether you're, out of a lease, all these things. The more buying power you have, the better position you're going to be. And one of the biggest topics that's coming up too, I want to hit on is, I hear some buyers, afraid of there's a big bubble. This is a big, prices are going up, and it's all going to come to a screeching halt, and we're overpaying for houses. I really don't see that. Been, listening to a lot of different economists, and we're not in a bubble. It's not going to be a repeat of, '08. That housing crisis, was, self-inflicted for a lot of different reasons that have nothing to do with what we're experiencing right now with the housing growth and the economy. So don't be afraid to buy. Because I think prices aren't going to, go crazy, but it's not like you're going to buy this year and your house isn't going to be, worth what it is. It's hard to predict, and we don't want to do that. But I think it's going to be a strong market for a while. I hear a lot of the housing market is going to be a real big effect on the economy. The housing market stimulates and provides to the economy in so many different ways, with buying furniture and TVs and washers and dryers and kitchen and rehabs. We are one of the big supporter to the economy, the housing market. So they're going to want to keep this going strong.
Yeah, definitely. And interest rates, have they changed a lot from summer? I know they're still
Lower
low.
than I've ever seen them. Yeah. Lower than what I currently pay. It's crazy.
Definitely still low. More of incentive to buy right now.
Yeah, they really are, and it allows you to buy, as everybody understands. It allows you to buy a little bit more, and it may even out the little bit higher price range that you're paying before the prices even go up more, and it gives you a little bit more buying power, or it reflects some of the appreciation that we've seen. And I think interest rates are going to again, I think interest rates are supporting the housing market, and the housing market is helping fuel the economy. So I don't see a big, huge change on interest rates.
No, definitely. Yeah. I mean, hopefully they stay low, and everyone that's thinking about selling or buying, definitely, list your house. There's buyers that want them. And, what about inventory? Do you see us maybe, with new constructions and everything, what are you seeing? Are you seeing that we're going to get some more inventory maybe within the next year, 2021? Who knows what's going to happen, but
a couple different things. Obviously over the last year, if you look at statistically, there's more building permits than there ever has since, all the way back to, probably 2008. So there is a fact of that. I specifically are actually, doing a little bit of spec homes. So I imagine you're going to see, a little bit more newer construction. The challenge with that this year has been with the pandemic and lumber costs. Boy, we could talk even another hour on material costs and how that's affecting and being challenging on new construction. But hopefully that all washes out post pandemic. And inventory and listing, one thing that's going to help that is because of the housing crisis in 2008 and the decline in property values. What we saw was nobody sold their house. People usually stay in a house an average of like 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
And what happens is people who bought in all the way up to 2008, they hit that 5-year mark and they didn't sell because we were in the housing, the depression and housing crisis, and property values have, dropped. So right now it's a great time to sell because we are actually dealing with record equity in homes. Homeowners right now have more equity than they've ever had because they didn't sell in 5 years. They've been approaching the 10-year mark. So sellers have a lot of equity. They need to start, really looking at that and upgrading and take advantage of that equity. So I think hopefully that stimulates some more inventory too.
Yeah, no, great. And thank you so much for all your insights today. Is there anything else that you want to hit on before we close the show?
No, just everybody, we're approaching the winter and the holidays, and stay safe and enjoy your families, and boy, good luck.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you again for being on The Real Tea. And everyone else, just make sure to go to businessjournaldaily.com. If you want to watch this whole video again, you can go back and rewatch it. So.
Thanks, Abby.
Bye. Thank you.
Anytime. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell for notifications. And also make sure to connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. For all of your business news, visit businessjournaldaily.com. For all of your arts and entertainment news, go to afterhoursyoungstown.com.